Dean Martin's Celebrity Roast, coming to you from the MGM Grand Hotel in the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. The glittering city of excitement and laughter provides a scintillating backdrop for tonight's star-studded roast. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Ziegfeld Room of the Grand Hotel, some of the world's greatest entertainers are here tonight. They are here in Las Vegas in person as Dean Martin honors our man of the hour, Evel Knievel, with tonight's guests, William Conrad, Don Rickles, Glenn Campbell, Senator Barry Goldwater, Ernest Borgnine, Milton Berle, Gabe Kaplan, Jackie Cooper, Isabelle Sanford, Vic Robertson, McLean Stevenson, Georgia Engel, Dr. Joyce Brothers, Nipsey Russell, Audrey Meadow, and your roastmaster, Dean Martin, and tonight's very special man of the hour, Evel Knievel.
We are gathered here at the MGM Grand Hotel, MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas, to honor Evel Knievel, a man who many times has looked into the face of death. Phyllis Diller. Evel first came to the public's attention on ABC's Wide World of Nuts. They rescued him from Snake River. They rushed him to the hospital with stomach injuries. For a week, he couldn't hold anything down except his night nurse. When he got out of the hospital, the governor of Idaho gave a dinner in his honor and presented Evel with a special cup, which he's wearing tonight. Stop this man. He loves to live dangerously, and I respect him. Next time he tries to jump over Snake River, I'd like to ride with him, but he doesn't carry passengers. I know. President Ford asked him to take Rockefeller. Senator Goldwater, the president has plans for you, too. He's going to name you ambassador to Cuba and make Shadow your press secretary. Evel, before I introduce our first guest, I just want to say I've admired you ever since your first stunt when you jumped over 12 cars, bounced off a fire hydrant, and crashed your car into a house. You're my kind of guy. That's the way I come home every night. Ladies and gentlemen, a bright young comedian and the star of Welcome Back, Kotter, Mr. Gabe Kaplan.
Thank you, Dean. I have a message for you from my students. Up your nose with a rubber hose. I am really happy to be here tonight for this man, Evel Knievel. I know Evel. We've met on several occasions, and I myself have a few daredevils in my family. There was my uncle, the late Crazy Max Kaplan, whose last feat was he tried to jump over 147 Hebrew national salamis. And he made it. The only thing is he didn't see the slicing machine on the other end. The first time I've been to a funeral where the deceased was laid out on a platter with olives and celery. But Evel has taken a few unfortunate spills himself, and they've had to put him back together. Some strange surgery. You want Evel to hear you have to speak into his nose. In fact, this is the only man whose organs have called up Dr. Christian Barnard personally and begged to be transplanted into somebody else's body. has not been affected by his spills. I mean, he has some nasty ones. They have not affected this man's head. Never. I mean, he's rational, he's a sane human being, but don't ever try to take his crayons away. He's been patched together a lot, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it's causes a few problems, though, like when he goes to the airport, his head sets off the metal detector. What does Evel Knievel do for fun?
What?
I'll tell you what he does for fun. D, this man sits at home and makes obscene phone calls to the National Safety Council. But I'm going to leave you with one of Evel's favorite sayings. He always says that we're all going to the same place. Evel, I just spoke to them upstairs, and you're 3 days late already. You're terrific. Keep on trucking, baby.
Isabelle Sanford used to be Archie Bunker's next-door neighbor. Then she moved uptown to star in her own series, The Jeffersons. And here she is, Miss Isabelle Sanford.
Thank you, Dean. And after all these years of listening to George Jefferson, it's a pleasure to be around a man who doesn't raise his voice, only his glass. I know we're here to honor Evel Knievel, but we should be honoring his wife. Can you imagine what it's like to be married to this motorcycle maniac? He split more ribs than I've eaten. Have you wondered what Evel Knievel's wife thinks about his broken bones? When he comes home to her, it's like getting junk mail. But there's one saving grace, the kids. You don't have to buy them toys. They amuse themselves putting daddy together. It must be great for romances when your husband comes home from one of his dangerous stunts and you wonder what he broke this time. I suppose I shouldn't complain. Whenever my husband, George, gets romantic, that's a stunt. Well, let's give credit where credit is due. Behind every man, there's a woman. And in the case of Evel Knievel's wife, there's a woman with a Band-Aid.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the man who gave brutality lessons to Godzilla, Mr. Ernie Borgnine.
A lot of people will be forever grateful to you for all that you've done for them, especially those 33 doctors' children who you personally put through college. Very few people know that one of the first jumps that Evel made was when he was in high school. One of his buddies gave him a hot foot in algebra class, and Evel jumped flat-footed over the teacher. That was the first standing broad jump. And who can forget the movie they made of Evel's life? Almost everybody. And the biggest thrill of his career, the Snake River almost jump. Very few people know the famous words he said when he first saw that deep chasm and its petrifying depths. These words still linger in the ears of fortunate bystanders when he said, "Are you kidding?" I love you, Evel, but please don't ask me to be in your carpool, huh?
Milton Berle has worked in radio, and he has worked in television, nightclubs, the movies, and he even wrote a book. And he's going to keep going until he finds something that people like about it. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite comedians, but what the hell do I know? Mr. Milton Berle.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you. How do you like this, huh? You wanna? He's the one that crashed, and he's the one that smashed. Look at this. Sure, he's laughing. He don't know where the hell he is. Laugh. He thinks this is sex. This man has so much metal in his body, just came up with a new disease, terminal rust. Why are we honoring this doggy bag with bones? Not because he's a daredevil, because he's a brilliant businessman. And I compliment you on that, Mr. Knievel, or Knievel. No, he is a financial wizard. Here's a man who bought Polaroid at 27 and sold it when he was 28. This man, who was born an only twin, was a genius in school. What a brain. To get on the good side of the kids in his class, Evel told him that he had ESP. Unfortunately, he was trying to spell car. I'm kidding. If I've said anything to insult you, believe me. We're honoring him because he's brave, he's courageous, he's got guts. Is the only man who told Howard Hughes to get lost, and look what happened. Of course, his last few jumps haven't been too thrilling. I've seen more exciting Nestea plunges. I understand next year he's going to make his most dangerous jump over the entire King family. And two of the gold diggers. And for a big finish, over Tony Orlando's platform shoes. I can see it all now as Evel Knievel. I had my nose fixed, my mouth don't work. I can see it all now as he soars through the air with his St. Christopher medal wearing a neck brace. People are going to look up in wonder and in amazement and scream, "Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a dum-dum."
They say that inside of every fat man, there's a thin man trying to get out. In the case of William Conrad, there are 20 of them trying to get out. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the best television detectives around. If you can figure out how to get around him, the star of Canyon. Okay, then. Mr. Kelly Moniak.
I don't mind the jokes about my size, Dean. At least they measure my weight in pounds. Yours is in quarts. In my capacity as a private detective, I was asked to shadow Evel Knievel for one day and find out what he's really like. Here's my report. It's a great night, Milton. 5:30 a.m. Observed subject sleeping. He sleeps in the raw, on a rock-hard bed, no blanket, and windows wide open. I also noticed he sucks his thumb. 7:45 a.m. Knievel picked up the morning paper, read the obituary column, His name was not in it, so he ate breakfast. 2 o'clock, subject went into a men's store. 2:10, subject went into another men's store. 2:20, subject went into a third man's men's store. Realized subject did not intend to buy anything. He just likes to look at himself in the mirror. 6:30, subject entered a factory to check his latest merchandise item, the Evel Knievel Daredevil Die doll. Just before it jumps, it walks, talks, and wets. 8:50, subject called Montana. 8:51, subject bought Montana.
Our next guest, the distinguished senator from Arizona, Barry Goldwater. If the senator isn't too funny tonight, there's a reason for it. When he mailed us a copy of his monologue, the CIA opened it and took out all the jokes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and a privilege for me to introduce a great American, Senator Barry Goldwater.
Thank you, Dean. As part of our bicentennial celebration, the state of Ohio has named your birthplace in Steubenville an historical monument. They've even got a statue of you in front of the county courthouse, and it's a perfect likeness. It's lying at the bottom of the steps. Evel, I've always admired the kind of man who sets out to accomplish daring feats without a second thought to the tremendous odds that are against him. Such men as Charles Lindbergh in 1927, Sir Edmund Hillary in 1953, and Barry Goldwater in 1964. But Evel's my kind of guy, a man who can turn apparent failure to his own advantage. For instance, when he jumped the Snake River Canyon, although he didn't clear the canyon, he did clear some $3 million. Evel, I've got a proposition for you. I know you're always looking for new challenges, so I'd like to publicly invite you to come to Washington, that's D.C., and jump over the Capitol Dome. Actually, I can think of a few people who'd like to watch me make that jump. We're confident that you'll accept our invitation, and I know it's a little premature, but in anticipation of the day when you do make that jump, the people of my home state, Arizona, have already named one of our cities after you, Tombstone.
A real good swinger and a real good pal. My buddy here, he is the rhinestone cowboy himself, Mr. Glenn Campbell.
Hi, I'm Glenn Campbell.
Evel Knievel, I salute you. You're a nice man.
Engel from the Mary Tyler Moore Show is the sweetest and the most gentle lady you could meet. In fact, she's so nice that before she goes through a revolving door, she knocks. Ladies and gentlemen, the girl who makes Mary Poppins look like Fanny Foxx, Miss Georgia Engel.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Oh, you're welcome.
When the producer asked me to be on this roast, he asked me to think up some real good zingers. So I stayed up all night and thought, but I couldn't even figure out what a zinger is. So they gave me these things to say about the people on the dais. Some clouts, some hits, and some put-down shtick. Here's the first one. It's nice to see Don Rickles here tonight. I understand he went to see Jaws and rooted for the shark. I'm sorry, Mr. Rickles. I didn't mean to say anything mean. I'm sure you're very likable. Otherwise, why would you be doing a new television pilot every year? Here's another zinger. I see we have McLean Stevenson here. When he left MASH and went on his own, he followed in the footsteps of Amelia Earhart, Howard Hughes, and Judge Crater. The only difference is somebody is looking for them. I wouldn't have said that. There's a lot of interest in you. Every day I hear people say, whatever happened to McLean Stevenson? It's also nice to see Dean Martin. He's the nicest man on 2 feet if he could only stay on them. I don't know why they say that. I saw you just an hour ago in the lobby of the MGM Grand, and you were standing, remember? It was just a few seconds before you fell. And now we come to our guest of honor, Evel Knievel. How do you like that outfit he's wearing? It looks like Liberace's underwear. And please don't feel bad, Mr. Knievel. I'm sure it takes a lot of nerve to wear something like that. Thank you. I hope I haven't offended anyone. And that's it for the zingers.
Our next guest is the star of the new television series, Mobile One, a story of a TV news team that covers major disasters, which is why he's here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the real pros of show business and a very talented actor, Mr. Jackie Cooper.
When you mention the name Evel Knievel, one question springs to everyone's mind. How does this guy get insurance? He kept looking and finally found the one company that would agree to insure him. Lloyd's of Warsaw. Evel is now insured for $1 million. His annual premium is $2 million. Evel, I salute you. You've done for motorcycles what the Surgeon General has done for cigarettes.
My pal and one of the greatest, Mr. Nipsey Russell.
I'm here tonight because Evel Knievel is a master showman. If there's one thing I do know, it's show business and show people. I knew Gladys Knight when her pips were small. They were just little guys. Couldn't even sing. It's true that Evel Knievel does not know the meaning of fear. This man could bribe a cop with a counterfeit bill and never worry about it. My brother saw it. My brother was coming from the welfare office in his Cadillac. Sure he's got a Cadillac. He's black, ain't he? I mean, we don't keep him long, but we get him first. As he turned into the freeway, he saw it all. There was a motorcycle cop cruising along 60 miles an hour. Evel Knievel passed the man so fast that the cop thought his bike had stopped and got off to see what was wrong. And I admire a man with these personality traits because my father is the same kind of man. Stubborn and militant. My dad died with a headache because he would not pick the cotton out of the aspirin bottle. He said, hell no, them cotton picking days are over.
Our next guest is Dr. Joyce Brothers, the well-known psychologist. Dr. Brothers has been trying to get me on the couch for years. Dr. Joyce Brothers.
Thank you, Dean. As Dr. Kinsey said, you're all right in my book. Evel Knievel makes a very interesting psychological study, and he really poses a number of questions. So I asked Evel what keeps him from backing out at the last minute. He told me he has a little mental exercise he does to take his mind off the danger. He looks around at the crowd, counts the number of people, and multiplies by $1.80.
Tonight we have a surprise for you, and an even bigger surprise for our guest of honor. A person who knows more about Evel Knievel than anyone else in the world. Evel's brother, Awful Knievel.
Let me say hello to my brother. Evel Knievel is a fake. And I'm here to expose him tonight. He's a fraud, a phony, and a chicken. Do you think that Evel did all those dangerous stunts? I did them. Me, his twin brother. He got all the credit and I did everything. When we were kids, he was afraid of his own shadow. In fact, I was his shadow. And another thing. Oh, I can hear it. Another thing about Evel. He can't stand pain. When he was born, the doctor spanked me. You think he likes speed? Well, let me tell you something. He's got a governor on his jacuzzi. Do you remember that big jump here in Las Vegas where you saw the film bouncing along the pavement? That was me. They drove Evel to the hospital in a fancy ambulance. I had 17 broken bones, and I had a hitchhike. And anytime he can't handle something, he sends for me. I even heard it from him on his wedding night. Everybody says my brother Evil is not afraid that he'll die. Why should he be, I ask you? When he dies, they'll bury me.
That was Charlie Callan. Funny man. Charlie Callan. Let's bring up a fine actor and a good pal of mine, Mr. Cliff Robertson.
The Evel Knievel, we all agree that you're just about the bravest man on earth. And my real purpose here tonight is to induct you into the Bravery Hall of Fame and to give you an idea of the heroic men and women already in that Hall of Fame. Here's a brief rundown. There's Mike Williams. Mike went out with Phyllis Diller when she was wearing a see-through blouse. And Gunther Schultz, the legendary lion tamer who performed a death-defying act. He stuck his head in Howard Cosell's mouth. We mustn't forget Cy Goldberg, the first man to open a delicatessen in Cairo. But Evel, what really ensured you getting into the Bravery Hall of Fame was a thing that you did last night. Ladies and gentlemen, it was even more dangerous than any of Evel's motorcycle jumps. There was one empty seat at the bar, and I saw Evel racing Dean Martin for it.
Here's one of TV's newest and funniest personalities, Mr. McLean Stevenson.
Now, as you probably know, I guest host the Tonight Show occasionally. And a few weeks ago, one of the loonies on the staff came up with what he thought was a bright idea, and that was to film a spot of me jumping over a dozen trucks in Evel's sidecar. So we start up the ramp on Evel's cycle, and I'm feeling pretty good by now. Until just before we get to the takeoff, I noticed the St. Jude statue on his handlebars is wearing a parachute. Well, I gotta tell you, Evel and I had sailed right over those 12 trucks and made a perfect landing. So I get my little car and zip back to the apartment, and I'm feeling great. I jumped over 12 trucks and laughed in the face of death. I opened the door to my dippy little apartment, step on my daughter's skateboard, fly halfway across the room, and nearly break my face. In closing, I'd just like to say, Evel, that your fearless feats and your incredible jumps, your amazing acts of bravery, have really given new meaning to the word dumb.
No secret that the machinery upon which our honored guest risks his life must be finely tuned and perfectly maintained. You put me on? Well, let's say hello to Evel Knievel's personal mechanic. Reminds me, I gotta get some balloons for the kids.
As Mr. Martin just told you, I'm the person responsible for maintaining Mr. Knievel's, whatchamacallit, with those round things on it.
And it's a motorcycle.
Oh, you must be a mechanic too, Mr. Martin. I thought you...
I didn't know we had a bit part here.
My work is very hard. Every morning, I help Mr. Knievel charge his battery. We have a special battery name for Mr. Knievel. Ever Ready. It's such a thrill to work for this Pagliacci of the Pistons. But the strangest thing is that Mr. Knievel is from Butte, Montana. And I'm from Butte. So you people out there in television land, whether you know it or not, are looking at a pair of buttes.
She's in your pit, huh?
He promised to make me a gold digger. No worse than he is. Evel promised to marry me. I kept that love note he wrote me right next to my bosom in my top dresser drawer. He toyed with my affections. Didn't he think I'd suffer? Didn't he realize that I could hurt? I'm only human. Isn't that so?
Well...
Beast! And don't act so hoity-toity. I still have his note, too. And the blank check if I'd come up to his room. He's impossible. He's evil.
No, he's evil over there.
Well, you're really fast, Gene. I haven't forgotten you, Honda Head. What I did for him, I didn't leave his side. When they brought him back to the hospital, he was half gone. When he came out of shock, whose face was the first one he saw? Mine.
And he went right back into shock.
But we're through. Finished. And the next time you have an accident, and you've got 20 broken ribs, and your arms are in traction, and your legs are broken, don't come running to me.
Don Rickles, as you know, this year all the networks created the Family Hour, and for Don, they created the Animal Hour. Best man in the world, Mr. Don Rickles.
I really don't like you, Evel. I never did. You're annoying with your dummy motorcycle doing your trick-or-treat jobs off walls. Who cares? Senator, I'm terribly sorry about the election. You should have been president. I would like to kiss your knuckles and just be with you all the time, because to sit in Arizona and watch a coyote die, to me, is fun. I had a broad once, used to hang around Arizona and just lay in the damn desert going, oh! God bless you, Senator. And I mean this sincerely. You will be taken to your car, as always, and good luck to you in the Congress. I know that you sit there every night and go, what are they voting on? I attention, Senator. Anyway, that's why you weren't president. You never laughed. You gotta be like Ford, wear the suit that doesn't fit. Now, I'd like to say, notice the way Goldwater went. That was a good one. Now, it's good to see you, Isabelle, the wonderful black lady down on the end. I kid about black people. We need you people, really we do. I always kid the blacks. My friend Harry Goings, he's my dearest friend. He's been with me 22 years. He's black, and he's not here tonight, unfortunately. He was on safari, and a tiger ate him. You know what the blacks do? They run in front of the leopard going, "Here come a tiger, Mr. Lipschitz." Senator Goldwater went, "I gotta use that sometime." I kid, my dear friend Dr. Joyce Brothers, I wouldn't let you treat my nails. Gabe Kaplan, my landsman, that means a brother of my people, also a Jewish boy. Had you known evil personally, you could have been up close. But unfortunately, as my people say, love thyself as thy love thy cutter. Thy rabbi will bring thee to thyself, with thy thay. Notice? Goldwater went, "That's true." God bless you, Nipsey. When you get a chance, the hotel has to be clean. Tonight is your night, Evil. Evel Knievel and you, William Conrad. You're a heavy man, Bill. You're gonna swell up and die. Listen to me. Don't you worry, Evil. You'll never die. You had your shot at it. Of course, to you, I really mean this, Glenn Campbell. You've been my favorite. When the wife and I sit at home, we play all his albums. Saturday night with you, sitting around the house going, "My brother knows, my father knows, they're so down, my lips, my brother can't die." Look at that, 3 clowns in the back went, "Sing it, boy, sing it." You dummies, you're gonna die singing those cowboy songs. Do what Dean does. Everybody. Somebody pull the cord on Dean so his lip works. Of course, my idol, Milton Berle. God bless you, Milton. What a night for you. You've been such a great star over the years, and now we're going to put you in a home. No, it's only a joke. And Jackie Cooper, I'll never forget when Wallace Beery said, "Ah, gee whiz, kid, I love you." And you went, "Gee, Chip, I want to be Chip. I want to be with you, Chip." "Ah, get away from me, kid. Get away from me." Goldwater went, "That's it. That's damn good." Ruth Buzzy is made up in her costume. I'm sorry. That's really Ruth Buzzy, folks. This is what you call a mercy date. She's a lovely actress, and she will be in the state hospital running through the halls going, "Want to see my kite?" Charlie Callis, a great star. I spoke to the Mayo Clinic, and they want your tongue put in a jar. But I do want to say, this has been a great night. Evel Knievel, we've met each other. I was here when, unfortunately, at Caesar's Palace, when you hit the wall and the ambulance driver went, he crashed. You're a great hero, Evel. Really you are. Either that or you're dumb. Take a motorcycle and jump over 12 trucks while the Jewish promoter's going, "He'll never make it." And the Italian's going, 8 to 5, he clears the trucks. And the color guy going, "Don't, man, you're going to die." Is this too fast, Senator? Don't write letters, folks. We cover them all. That's the whole thing, to have an American hero. When I was a kid, Jack Armstrong was my hero. Now we have you in your Tutti Frutti suit. You're married how many years now, Evel? 16 years. I just can picture him just sitting with the wife every day. She goes, "Do it to me!" I make jokes about you, Evel. Why? Because it takes a great deal of courage to do what you do, to jump over canyons, jump over trucks,
Get a job like everybody else. Stop annoying people with your trick-or-treat jobs. May I say to all of you, to you, Evel, thank you for making me fly up on Dean's plane. We had a Piper Cub with a rubber band on his nose. Somebody blew on us and we took off. It was a great trip, and you are one of the cheapest Italians I have ever known. Sinatra's going to hear about this. Frank couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately, because this wasn't exciting. But unfortunately, he's in Salerno going, I did what I was told. Notice, Senator, how I made it Salerno? Because I know you're taking notes. To you, Evel, good luck. Continue your great courage, no matter what you do. Just live, enjoy life, and pass on to all our youngsters, men and women, your great courage. I love you.
Evel Knievel is the greatest motorcycle daredevil of our day. But not many of us know that early in Evel's career, he performed hundreds of death-defying stunts that have never been publicized. Here are a few of them that you never read about. Daredevil in the whole world, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Evel Knievel.
Thank you. You know, I've always liked Dean Martin because he did a nice thing for me one time. After one of my jumps, I was in the hospital and he donated a pint of his blood in my name. There was one problem. I was a little young then, and they won't let anybody under 21 have it. Anyway, I'm glad to be here. Because as a stunt rider, I've had some close calls. And the thing that stays with you longest after a crash is the sound of tearing and grinding metal. You can't believe how horrible that sound is, unless you have a new album by Glenn Campbell. I'm glad to see Jackie Cooper back on television. Jackie, your new show, Mobile 2, was a real sleeper. I slept through it. Mr. Berle, the last time I saw you was on the Tony Orlando show. You and Tony make a great team. Orlando and Yawn. Now I'd like to say something nice about McLean Stevenson. Has anybody got any suggestions? I'm glad Don Rickles is on, because I really like him. As a matter of fact, last year I jumped over a river that was named for Don, the Snake River. Yeah, there's only one Don Rickles, and that's Howard Cosell. Before the show, I heard something nice about Ruth Buzzy. She was once voted Miss Canada. She's considered very pretty up there. But don't forget, that's Moose Country. And Isabelle Sanford, I never met you before, honey. But I saw you talking to Nipsey Russell backstage, and I thought you were Sanford and Son. Dr. Joyce Brothers, from what you said, you're inferring that I have a split personality.
Honey, if you landed on your fanny as many times as I have jumped that motorcycle, you'd be split someplace, too. Senator Goldwater, I really feel honored having you here. You know, you and I are a lot alike. We've both known the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. You know, Dean said I'd remember this night until I'm 100 years old. Thank God I ain't gonna live that long. Thank you. Good night, everybody.